Electric Fire Chapter 28 The End.
Sonic ran over to me curiously, had the Chaos Emeralds in his clutches. Curious about what these emeralds are. Sonic, these are very powerful, so be careful, and don't let them take control of you. I believe that you can use these to turn super, as in they'll turn your fur in a shiny yellow color. You'll be more powerful in that form. I went super once before my creator ended up having to hide the emeralds afterward. But this is our only chance at defeating the Bio-Lizard, okay? I don't think I'll be able to defeat him on my own, even though I'm strong. Now let's show this thing what we're made of.
Alright, Shadow, I'm with you on this one. I'll give it all I got.
He smirked a bit. I only nodded before closing my eyes. He did exactly what I did. Now, clear your mind. 3, 2, 1. I looked up. It worked on me. I was glowing a full-on yellow. My red streaks were also visible. Sonic was also able to do it. He was glowing a bit brighter than I was. Some lightning was also coming off of him in small sparks. I forgot to mention that we'd be able to fly. I just took off outside to where the Bio-Lizard was. Sonic followed right behind me. This was our chance on saving everyone. But when I looked down at the planet, I just felt an emptiness. I felt that I didn't belong there. I knew Sonic did. But me? Everyone just saw me as a monster. They were more welcoming to Sonic though. Sure, Tom and Maddie were welcomed to me, but if I went back after this, I knew I didn't have a future there. Nothing but lab tests or being put into isolation again. I had a choice to make after we beat this Bio-Lizard. The Ark was getting closer to Earth. Sonic was trying to set up a barricade by the look of it. I joined beside him. At first we weren't able to see the Bio-Lizard as the Ark zoomed towards us. I could make out something on the Ark. It had an aura around it. Something was definitely there, and its power was causing the Ark to come towards us. It hit us, but our strength wasn't enough. We had to attack the creature, but first I allowed myself to take off both the inhibitor rings that were on my wrists. I had to use Chaos Control to get the Ark back into place. Sonic, go attack it. Keep it distracted. I'm going to teleport the Ark back. Sonic dashed off and started to attack the creature. It was now or never. I could hear a faint voice in my mind. It was Maria's.
Do it, Shadow. The fate of the world depends on you.
I couldn't let her down. I closed my eyes and called out Chaos Control. I felt the tears start to stream. Then I heard another voice, Sonic this time.
Chaos Control!
The Ark was back in place to where it was before. Now our next task, defeating the Bio-Lizard. I don't think I could have done the teleportation of the Ark by myself. Seems Sonic can also use it as well. I joined his side in fighting the Bio-Lizard. I was much more powerful with my rings off. We took turns attacking the Bio-Lizard, though we also dodged its attacks. Finally, after some time, it gave up and, well, it exploded. Unable to handle our energy, the Ark was able to withstand the explosion. It barely got any scratches or dents. Seemed Gerald had done a good job on building it. Sonic and I exchanged glances. I could feel that my eyelids were getting heavy. I knew I wasn't going to be able to stay in the air for much longer. My rings were the reason why. They kept me from using too much of my energy. Now with them being off for as long as they were, well, all my energy is being drained. I held the rings in one hand. I could feel them both there in my right hand. I didn't have the strength to put them back on, nor did I want to. Sonic turned away from me for a moment to look at the Ark, astonished that we had actually done it. We put the Ark back and also defeated a powerful being. In that split moment, he turned away, My body found that it had no strength left to keep me up in the air of space. My body was still glowing yellow. I could feel myself plummeting, but there was nothing I could do. I was starting to feel the effects of sleep, but then suddenly, something awoke me. A sudden jolt, as I felt a hand grab the rings I was holding on to.
Shadow! Say something!
I looked up slightly to see Sonic. He still had enough strength to keep himself in the air, probably because he didn't have to worry about letting off too much energy. Let go. My voice was almost a whisper. I was so tired. I couldn't speak up much. Let me go, right now. I spoke up a bit this time. At least I tried. I had my eyes closed. I could feel the tears streaming again. I knew what I was doing. I was also losing a friend because of this. This choice.
Stop it! I'm not losing you, Shadow!
I couldn't look at him. I didn't have the heart to do so. Our friendship was starting to shatter. Yes, Sonic, you are, I replied coldly, though I really meant well for him. He is probably the only one to have gotten to know the real me, though Tom and Maddie got to know me a bit as well. You need to stop for a moment, Sonic, and think. I mean, you have a choice. He was still trying to pull me up, probably thinking that he'd take me back to the Ark. What's worth more, a tainted light that never fulfilled its purpose, a light that has no future. I took a breath of air for a moment before actually looking up at Sonic, though my eyesight was growing dim. For the millions of lives down there, Tom, Maddie, Ozzy, Tails, Omega, Carl, and Rouge are all down there too. They all still have a chance and a future to look forward to, thanks to you and me. I didn't have much strength left. At this point, I could barely move, but I managed to grab a Chaos Emerald from my quills and handed it to Sonic. He took it in his free hand.
Shadow, that isn't true! You have a future! I don't want to lose you!
He was trying so hard. I could feel that my body was returning to normal. Gun would be my future. They wrecked my life before. It's best if you let me go. I'd rather be in charge of myself instead of being a lab experiment all over again, or put into isolation again. You're free though. Besides, who knows? Maybe we'll see each other again someday. Please, take care of Omega and Rouge, along with yourself. I could tell we were nearing the Ark. I knew he really wanted to save me, but I didn't want to be saved. I looked at him one last time before letting go of the rings. By now, my body was almost completely normal. Goodbye, Sonic. I spoke before plummeting downward.
Shadow!
He called out, but he realized he didn't have the strength to come to get me. He was starting to lose his super form as well. In a flash of light, he was gone. He most likely used Chaos Control. I was falling unconscious again. In my mind, I said something on the lines of, Maria, this is what you wanted, right?
I made it back to Tom and Maddie. They were talking with the commander. I kept hold of the rings and the emerald. It seemed I was able to teleport as well, only by using the power of this Chaos Emerald. I'll have to thank Shadow for teaching me it. I just hid the emerald in the back of my quills like my friend had done. I don't know what fate the other Chaos Emeralds have. They could probably be plummeting to Earth now. I just wanted to go home. I felt like I were empty inside, kinda like how I felt back when I lost Longclaw. I just walked over to Tom and hugged him. I could feel the tears starting up, which was a bad sign. My fur started to let off some sparks of blue lightning, but somehow, I managed to keep myself under control. I didn't cause any power outages this time, not even a small blast. It wasn't long before I was taken back home. The car ride felt long. I mainly stared out the window, not very talkative for a while. I sat in the back of Maddie's car. Tom drove, though. Maddie sat in the passenger side. She'd glance towards me sometimes, but not a word had been spoken. Shadow's rings were on both my wrists. I knew his bucket list was still at the house. Only thing on it that wasn't crossed off was seeing snow for the first time. Everything else was pretty much marked off. I ended up falling asleep on the way home. Seems I was free and I could actually still live here on Earth, in the town of Green Hills, like how Shadow promised. This is my home once again. There is no place I'd rather be. My name is Sonic the Hedgehog, and this is our story. Mine and Shadow the Hedgehog's. My friend, and the only other hedgehog I knew aside from myself. I'm sorry it had to end this way.